There's a quiet kind of power in letting people do exactly what they want. Not because you don't care, but because you finally realized you don't have to control everything. When someone cancels plans last minute, ignores your message, or makes a decision you don't agree with, let them. It's not your job to manage their behavior. It's your job to protect your peace. The urge to fix, to correct, to explain yourself. It comes from fear. Fear of being misunderstood, rejected, or left behind. But the truth is, constantly chasing people or trying to change their mind only drains your energy. What if the real power lies in letting go? In choosing your inner calm over external chaos? Let them talk. Let them ignore you. Let them choose what's not you. And you? Let yourself breathe. Let yourself heal. Let yourself rise above the noise. Not everything is about you. When someone acts distant or dismissive, your mind may start spiraling into stories. What did I do wrong? Why are they pulling away? But often their behavior is a reflection of their internal battles, not your worth. The let them mindset invites you to stop internalizing someone else's storm. You don't have to take ownership of what doesn't belong to you. Their mood swings, their detachment, their inconsistency. It's not your burden to carry. You can observe their actions without making it about your value. That is maturity. That is freedom. The less you react, the more you see. You begin to understand that people's decisions aren't always personal attacks. Sometimes people are just being themselves. And that's the point. Let them. Energy is your currency. Every time you obsess over someone else's choices, you're making an emotional withdrawal from your own bank. You only have so much to give. So why waste it trying to control what's not yours to control? The Let Them theory teaches that boundaries aren't about building walls. They're about knowing where you end and someone else begins. When someone crosses a line, it's not your job to chase. It's your cue to center yourself and return to what truly matters. Your well-being. Let them go where they want. Let them do what they choose. You're not being passive. You're being wise. You're choosing to redirect your energy to the things that bring you peace, growth, and clarity. Control is an illusion we cling to when we feel uncertain. We think that if we just say the right words, do the right thing, or try harder, we can shape how people behave. But control doesn't create connection. It creates pressure. And pressure destroys authenticity. Letting people be who they are isn't weakness. It's emotional strength. It means you've matured enough to say, I don't need to force anything. What's meant for me will never require me to beg for it. That's not detachment. That's self-respect. So the next time someone doesn't show up the way you hoped, don't panic. Don't chase. Just pause. And remind yourself, let them. Their choice is their journey. Your peace is your priority. There will be moments when someone walks away, emotionally, mentally, or physically. Your instinct might scream to hold on tighter. But let them says, let go. If someone chooses distance, respect it. Don't fill in the silence. Don't plead for clarity. Sometimes, closure is accepting you may never get one. It hurts. It always does. But the more you resist, the more it drags. Letting go isn't giving up. It's choosing freedom over force. When people leave, it creates space. And that space isn't empty. It's sacred. It's where healing begins. Let them go. Let them choose differently. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Real love doesn't demand, doesn't manipulate, doesn't chase. It allows, it accepts, it flows. Loving someone doesn't mean tying them to your expectations. It means giving them the freedom to be fully themselves, and loving yourself enough to walk away if they can't meet you there. We often confuse love with control. We think, if they love me, they'll change. But love isn't a contract. It's a choice. Every single day. And if someone chooses differently, you don't have to hold resentment. You just have to let them. Let them love how they know how. Let them leave if they must. The right ones don't need to be convinced. They recognize your value the moment they see it. Your peace is not a negotiation. It's your responsibility. And once you realize that you don't have to invite chaos into your mental space, your life changes. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Letting them be doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've set an internal standard. It means you've stopped tolerating what feels heavy. It means you've learned to say, I'm not available for this kind of energy anymore. Protect your mind like you protect your home. Not everyone gets a key. Let them knock. Let them leave. Let them reveal who they are, so you can protect who you're becoming. Letting others go doesn't mean abandoning your own heart. It means standing so firmly in your own worth that you no longer beg for crumbs of attention. You are not giving up on love. You're giving up on forcing what was never meant to stay. That's not weakness. That's strength wrapped in self-awareness. Often people confuse letting go with losing. But the real loss is in clinging to someone who doesn't see you, doesn't choose you, or doesn't value you. You lose more of yourself every time you hold on to someone who's already gone in spirit. So you stop chasing and start choosing your peace over their presence. Let them go. But let yourself rise. Let yourself evolve into the version of you that doesn't beg, doesn't shrink, doesn't bend. This isn't the end of love. It's the beginning of self-love. Control gives us the illusion of safety. When the world feels unpredictable, our mind starts reaching for anything it can grip. Schedules, people, outcomes. It's not always about power. Sometimes it's just about fear. Fear of loss, fear of chaos, fear of being vulnerable. But life isn't meant to be micromanaged. It's meant to be lived. The more we try to force life to bend to our will, the more resistance we create. The let them mindset teaches us to soften, to release the white-knuckle grip, to trust that letting go doesn't mean losing. It means creating space for alignment. The less you control, the more in control you feel. Because you're no longer at the mercy of outcomes. You become the eye in the storm, calm, grounded, and free. There's a hidden tax we pay when we don't let people go. The slow erosion of our peace, the anxiety of constant overthinking, the exhaustion of chasing clarity. When you try to control how others show up, you abandon how you want to live. That's a cost far too high. You might think, if I just try harder, maybe they'll see me. But what if they're not supposed to? What if their distance is not a punishment but a redirection? The truth is, not letting go means living in a cycle of waiting. Waiting for them to change, to realize, to care. And while you wait, your life stalls. Your joy is on pause. Your energy drains. The moment you let them, you stop paying that emotional tax, and you start investing in yourself again. Letting people be who they are is not passive. It's one of the most active choices you can make. You're choosing not to react, not to beg, not to force. That takes more strength than snapping back or chasing. It takes discipline. It takes clarity. You're not giving up. You're rising above. You're no longer wasting time rewriting someone else's script. Instead, you're writing your own. You're shifting from control to consciousness, from reaction to intention. Let them do what they want, but never forget. You're doing something too. You're healing. You're evolving. You're creating space for what's truly meant for you. Sometimes, love looks like space. Letting people go isn't just a gift to yourself. It's a gift to them. You're allowing them to be fully themselves, without guilt or pressure. You're giving them the chance to grow without being tethered to your expectations. Control masks itself as care. But real care doesn't suffocate, it supports. It understands that some people find themselves in distance, not closeness. And when you stop trying to shape someone into what you need, you allow them to become who they're meant to be. Let them breathe. Let them explore. Let them return, if they ever do, as their whole self. Not someone molded by your fears. Letting go is not the end of the story. It's the turning point. Once you let them, there's a powerful silence that follows. In that silence, you meet yourself. You ask, what do I want now? Who do I want to be, now that I've stopped chasing someone else? This is where the real magic happens. You begin to choose, not out of desperation, but out of clarity. You no longer ask, will they pick me? Instead, you declare, I choose me. That shift changes everything, from how you show up in relationships to how you show up in life. Let them go, and then, don't just stand still. Step forward, into a life that no longer revolves around who stayed or left, but around who you're becoming. At some point, you have to stop knocking on closed doors. Not because you're bitter, but because your soul finally understands. It deserves to walk through doors that open on their own. Letting them go doesn't mean you're heartless. It means your heart has learned when to stop bleeding. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You don't need to explain why you stopped calling, why you walked away, or why you let silence speak. The moment you choose your peace over their approval, you reclaim your life. You stop being a background character in someone else's story and become the author of your own. So let them judge. Let them leave. Let them misunderstand you. Let them be who they are. And while they do all that, you rise. Quietly, gracefully, powerfully. Because the strongest people aren't the ones who hold on the longest. They were the ones who know when it is time to let go.